Okay, welcome back to Deep Speak with Brother Sadiq. Peace, blessings, love, and light. Thank you all for being here. Today I am going to share a little bit more about my brother's Library Incorporated, its beginnings. In fact, I'm going to share some of my kind of in-depth thoughts from, I guess you could say, some of the emotional and mental concepts that helped me to bring about some of the programming. Now we'll go over more of the programming. I did that in the last video. I'll do that again, but I kind of want to go over what's in my. This is a very old journal, I guess you could say, diary, however you want to call it. But it's a book that my son bought me. My oldest son bought me, and I've been using it to for years actually to write down some of the more important thoughts about things that I am dealing with. Um, so this is, I believe, from '09, 2009, and I wanted to just share some of the ideas behind my thinking. So, MBL, My Brother's Library Incorporated, educate them to themselves, their environment, their creator, their history, their society. Help them find their purpose and reason for existence. And once they find it, simply nurture that purpose until they reach their full potential or mastery of that skill or field, providing the resources, options, opportunity, and professionals for them to pattern or learn from in whatever field they find a natural aptitude or interest. Set in a nurturing, supportive 24-hour community center that also provides beds, clothes, food, mentors, tutors, counselors, and love for the youth. Okay. So, just a couple of more thoughts. So this is somewhat of yeah, I guess I'll read this. Okay. Says, Allah help me center myself in balance with purpose and will, evitude, certitude, plentitude, gratitude, and servitude, everlasting. Start running and don't stop until you reach your destination. Whoever can't keep pace is not ready for the race. Pace yourself now and build your strength and speed until you reach dream speed and can see the vibrancy of the atmosphere and environment. Return to its beautiful full color and energy. Allow time for pacing as you build by the Creator's will, yourself and spirit for the releveling of earth energies on all levels of existence. Okay, so this is kind of where we are. We need to be preparing ourselves spiritually. So I'm going to rant a little bit here because in the times that we're living in, like I mentioned earlier in one of my videos, this is not the time for me to be trying to teach you. I'm not trying to convince you. I'm not trying to pull you to my way of thinking. What I am doing is trying to reach out a hand. I am sharing my story, and I am sharing my passion for helping these children and our future. So, this is, like I said, a clarion call for those who understand and support this position. One of the things that I want to say is, like I said, if you have someone that you can learn from in this time, learn all that you can. But most importantly, in these times, I would say the most valuable thing that you have for discernment, for decision making, for guidance and direction, it is not even your mind. Okay? You know, I throw out this spiritual equation: 2 plus 2 in the logical reasoning mind is 4, but 2 plus 2 in the spiritual world is not quite 4. And I'll explain that scenario a little bit here just momentarily. But what I'm saying is that 2 plus 2 logically always equals 4. And so in your reasoning mind, you know the answer to 2 plus 2 is 4. Okay, in your spiritual self, you may have a scenario that you've seen several times before, and so you in yourself feel like, I know how this will play out. But at this time, you should consult your intuitive self, you know, more so even than your reasoning self. because your intuitive self may tell you that 2 plus 2 has always equaled 4, but today it does not, and you need to make the different decision. The decision that is more related to what is inside of your heart, you know, your a spiritually conscious decision outside of a rational, logical 2 plus 2 equals 4 decision. Now, I hope that wasn't hard to understand, but I think those with a spiritual eye can get some grasp of understanding of what I'm saying there. The concern about that for most people is that the reason you don't trust your intuitive self, your inspired self, that little voice inside that guides you, the reason most people don't trust that and don't utilize that as their guiding voice and principle is because they have not balanced their selves. They have not balanced themselves. They still are willing to do a thing wrong. They are still willing to tell a lie. They are still willing and possibly in the mode of cheating and doing deceitful things that are not straight up, that are not righteous. And so this is the issue. If you are balanced, if you are doing the right thing, if you have been consistently doing the right thing, if you have been righteous and, just, don't not robbing people, you care about people, you living compassionately, you living from your invisible qualities, right? Honor, right? Justice, love, fairness, respect. These are invisible qualities that most people don't seem to value much anymore. But if you are living by those, regardless of how the world is, that will give you a great advantage in this time. If you have lived righteously, just simply righteously, not that you have to do excesses to be helpful to others, but just balanced and fair and doing unto others as you would have them do unto you, okay? If you are doing that consistently, then you can begin to trust your intuitive self. You can trust your inspired self. You can trust your intuition, because that will be your clearest guide in these times. A good lie is 90% truth, but your intuitive self, your spiritual self, is discerning enough to know this is not 100% for me, okay? So I have been many places. I've had these experiences, and I've shared this, and this is not to teach, just to share, so that you are maybe conscious of this, because I'm sure you've already had the experience, right? The intuitive self is a guide, and if you trust it, it will lead you on a path that will keep you in spiritual direction. What we tend to do is allow our reasoning mind to outweigh our spiritual self, and that is where the confusion comes in. Now, I'm not denying that your rational thinking mind is very valid and needed, and part of course, your makeup. So it is definitely part of what you need to be utilizing in your decision making. But in these times, I would say, this is my own choice of method of operation, is that I am not utilizing my logical reasoning mind as my first source over my spiritual self. I am seeking my intuitive energies as my guide, and I would suggest that for you all as well. So I kind of wanted to get that out, and then I will go into this more. Okay, this is old writing, but I felt like I should share it. Deep knowledge, secrets, and seclusion. Lost ones may misuse it. Attempting to find solace in a world of imbalance, seeking direction in the steps to take, feeling alone and seeking the truth, all the ways to get it to the youth. Share wisdom and truth, provide pathways for them to find. No, I'm sorry. We'll start this over. That's a terrible beginning of a reading. Deep knowledge, secrets and seclusion, lost ones may misuse it. Attempting to find solace in a world of imbalance, seeking direction in the steps to take, feeling alone and seeking the truth, all the ways to get it to the youth. Share wisdom and truth, provide pathways for them to find the facts of ourselves and energy and health and life and love and purpose from the Creator above. above low-level thinking and animal lust, to teach and speak truly with no need to cuss. Where is the love? The love for life, for men, for people. Where is the love for truth, for peace, the love for God? Help me to understand how to bring all back to truth before death, truth before profit, truth before religion. Who really cares about truth is God. It's only important to those who seek it. It seems foreign to this world. No real effort to teach the truth or discover it. At its core, it is all from the Creator and is all true and in perfect balance. Fear of truth has caused division and death in all the people of the world. We are born ignorant of the ways of the world or environment, and we were trained in the ways of our family or environment with very little, if any, information at all about who actually created them or for what reason or purpose. They are generally trained in the ways of sports and entertainment. Not many of the people of the modern Western society are aware or of are aware of even the basic understanding of themselves as human beings. Know thyself. How were you created? How long were the stages of your growth from semen to sight? What are the systems of your body? How do they work? What batteries cause you to continue to move and think? What source of energy causes you to be alive? How does your blood work? How does your brain work? How does your eyes, your ears, your nose, the scent, taste, etc.? Help me to know thyself and others. You created all things in truth, and all I ask is for truth and providence. So this is kind of where I was in that time where I was talking about I was only in a state of prayer and I was working, and this is the state where I met Mr. Spinner. These were the times. This is the mindset that I was in when we all came to that point. In the begging for words to express myself, I ask and wonder about my place and purpose. In the beginning, there was order and organization, vegetation, animals, man, and creator. The knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of our basic creation and God-given environment should be common sense and basic knowledge for all of the people of the earth. Now, this goes back to the program, okay? So, common sense is like, for me, as humanity has progressed, right? We have learned so much, yet we don't teach that as part of our Common Core education. If we did, it would be advancing our humanity versus just our society and specialists who specialize. So if we were to take what a doctor knows, you have different types of doctors, okay? So I just mentioned you have the eyes, you have the bones, you have the cells, you have the nerves. So you have specialists in all of these different practices. If we were giving this to our children as a basic education, right? As part of elementary through 12th grade, they learn these systems of their body through from elementary through 12th grade. By 12th grade, every society member would be as wise as the most educated specialist because they would specialize. I mean, there would be no need for a specialist because the common knowledge of mankind would have been elevated because it is common knowledge now. It is not only a specialist and a doctor, but we all know this. We become healing agents to one another. So this is part of the education system that we must start to implement. We have to come together. We have to, this is a program that I was given through prayer and meditation, through asking why I'm alive. And the program is not mine. It is for us. It is for the earth. It is for all of the peoples. What I am doing here is sending out a call for help. I need assistance. We are to build this together. It is not for me to do alone. There are others who are already understanding this program's intention. And so let me go a little further. This is something that I read the other day. I want to share my email. I hope you can see it better here today. Okay. That says servant, SERVANT _ of the number 1 at ymail.com. Okay. All right. Because I was told it wasn't very clear the other day. All right, I want to read this again. My Brother's Library Incorporated exists to inspire the youth with a creative approach to education. self-development and neighborhood restoration. The goal is to reduce the staggering number of inner city youth who fail to thrive in and are at risk of dropping out of the current school system. We intend to start by involving the community youth in neighborhood restoration programs to instill a sense of pride as well as to improve community relations. Our goal is to create a 24-hour community center that will provide the following programs and projects. Now, I want to go back over that and kind of break it down a little bit, okay? We already know about the staggering number of inner city youth who fail to thrive and are dropping out. It's kind of come to a point where we recognize that this form of education is not sufficient for young men. They are being taught by generally, in the majority across the nation, young white women. There is a social dynamic that is causing much tension in the classroom, and with the power dynamic, of course, always being in the teacher's way, in the teacher's position, in the teacher's hand, the society respects that perspective, and so the youth suffer and are not heard and are not able to express their full selves. And children are people, fully people, and so they need to be able to express themselves as well. And so that is common. That is common, and so we have that being a major problem, and the dropout rate being, what it is. Neighborhood restoration programs. Okay, so that is the big share. Okay, that's the local the thing that we did here in Bloomington, where it's the junior apprenticeship program. The goal, like I said, is to get these kids to be able to actually shadow the professionals, maybe once a week, twice a week, maybe on Friday or whatever, and see hands-on what they do at their job. Okay, so that goes beyond the Q&A session and whatnot happening at the community center. So this is a fully integrated program where we would eventually, hopefully, like I said, turn this into a junior apprenticeship program where they are learning these skills earlier than 18 years old. When we get to college and we decide we want to do this, and then a couple of months later we want to do something else, and so we change majors and change majors and change majors, and because we're looking for that which is part of our spiritual self. What is the real education that I'm seeking? But society shows you these slots and they tell you this makes this much money, and so you want to be that versus what your spirit says you should be working towards, educating yourself towards, because what that is going to change the environment for all who know you and all who are here, who inhabit the planet while you're here. So if we are able to get a generation of youth to find their natural gifts, if we are able to find these natural gifts and then match them up with professionals that can nurture them and can give them the information that will advance them, like I said, if you could take a 10-year-old and you could take everything that I know right now, I'm 46. If I could take a 10-year-old and I could share, because he's interested in what I teach or what I know or what I'm sharing, I could give this to him and he would learn this over the next 3 years. At 13, he's as wise as I am. Right? And so by the time he's 20, he's changing the world based on new concepts. That's the goal. Okay, do you understand what I'm trying to show you here? If you can take a kid who is highly interested in, say, chemistry, and you take a chemist who is highly interested in sharing what he knows, and as we know, most older people who are retired love sharing what they know. And so this is reconnecting the community, okay? It reconnects the community because you have the retirees in the community who everyone, the older people are scared of the youth, right? This is the mentality. This is what the common word is about that. So if you can get the youth reconnected through this program, the junior apprenticeship program, that is one form of reconnecting the community. Another form of reconnecting the community is through the Concrete Rose, which is a gardening program. So the homeowners, who are generally older people in the community, homeowners in the community, our community center, our group of youth, would go to the houses in the community, vacant lots in the community, schools, and we would do gardens, flower gardens, prairie gardens. This eliminates the need for the seniors in the community to worry about cutting the grass because you have a prairie garden, so that eliminates on smog, et cetera, et cetera. Also, it gives the youth a relationship with the older people in the community because they're working in their yard, okay? And also, it gives the youth education on horticulture and plants and how things grow. And so it reconnects them to the earth. So that's one of the programs I kind of wanted to mention and go over a little bit more about. But we need volunteers. We need people who understand this and who are willing to help and get involved. So what I'm going to say is I did this program here in Bloomington, the Big Share, right? I did the Big Share in Bloomington for about 3 years with the help of a great friend of mine and my ex-wife. We did this program. We cooked. We had a sleepover at the house. We did a couple of things. Well, we were integrating as much as possible with the funding that we had and our availability. Okay. What I wanted to say is that even though we were educating these children and sharing probably some even controversial knowledge with the youth, we could not get the parents to come. In 3 years, I think we got 3 parents to visit the class and discover what we were studying or what we were doing or what we were teaching their children. So what that told me and what that showed me was that why we need a 24-hour community center. And I'm going to explain that a little bit more because I think it needs a little bit more explanation. Why 24 hours? Because I grew up in Detroit, and if you're in the city, and I don't know about, the rural parts of the country, and I'm sure there is just as much chaos there. I'm just speaking from what, my own personal perspective. I have buddies, like I said, whose moms was on drugs or whatever, and so I seen this life. I experienced them cats going through that life, and so like I said, it's 2, 3 in the morning. Your mom on drugs. There's no food in the house. You 10, 12 years old. You got a brother, he 4 years old. You really the only one who looking out for him because mom's on drugs, dad ain't there. He locked up or in the street doing criminal things. So this is common. This is not uncommon. This is the scenario. There are single mothers all over America, and at some point it becomes a toll and it becomes a weight, and some of them crack under the pressure and they, you're on drugs. We know this. I'm not making an excuse for anybody. I'm just telling you what the reality is. And so where do these kids go? What do they do at 2 and 3 and 4 in the morning? When there is no food in the house, or my mom's fighting with the dope man, or it's chaos going on that is above my responsibility level. What do I do? Currently there is nothing that they can do except for call the police. Call a family member who we hope is not so tired that they say I'm not coming. This is all the time, and we know how this goes. So the reason for a 24-hour community center is because these kids need somewhere to go all the time. They need to know they can always come to this place if no other place, okay? They need to know that when they get there, somebody gonna be there who gonna look out for them, They can get a meal, they can eat something. If they're needing clothing, there will be clothing. We're not worried about the financial issue because there's places all over the cities that have clothing banks and food banks, and it's just a matter of us organizing these things. Not only that, we have the community businesses, right? We have restaurants, we have stores, we have all of these businesses in our community who we can or should be able to, and definitely be requesting assistance to help with these programs for our youth. Funding for food to be able to feed them during the programming, funding for cleanups, funding for the things that we would need to be able to support the programming. And so I wanted to talk a little bit more about that. And so the 24-hour need is just that, Where do they go in those hours when the Boys and Girls Club is closed? right? Where do they go when the YMCA is closed? They need to have a place to go where they can continue to move forward in life without, oh, my mama going to the jail and I'm going to, foster care or wherever they may send me, and my little brother's going wherever he's going. And that's not what they're going to do. They're not willing to do it. And the gap between those kids and these, say, people who have finances who want to help. I had a conversation with some philanthropists up in Indianapolis some years back, and they talked about how they go in the hood. Some of them were doctors, and they go in the hood with these different programs that are for, the low income and et cetera, and they try to help them. And the people don't want them there. The people don't trust them. They want to help, they want to be there, but, one dude talked about how his computer got stolen, and another dude talked about how they stole his phone, and et cetera, et cetera. And I understand all of that. But the fact of the matter is, there is a gap, right? There is a gap. You don't relate to these children, right? They're not willing to tell you that their mom's on drugs. I'm not finna tell you my little brother didn't eat until I brought lunch home. I brought this apple or this sandwich home from school to make sure my brother ate. They're not gonna tell you that. They'll tell me that because they know I've been there. I got stab wounds. I got stories about drug, addiction in my family and my people being murdered related to the drugs. I can tell them all about, black love, and I can tell them about crack and how it destroyed all of that and why their parents ended up in that scenario. So I've been there. And so between the youth who are in need, people like myself and yourself who are selfless and willing to sacrifice yourself for these children. This is what's up. I told the Creator when I was a young man that I was willing to die for my people, right? I was willing to die for my people because I understood where we have been and what we have been through. And through prayer and meditation over time, the lesson was not to die for your people, but to live for your people, right? You alive, brother. You alive. I'm not the only one who feel like I feel. And I'm not going to play like I'm the only one. I know there are many hearts and spirits who feel exactly what I feel. And if you don't act on it, then that's your fault. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And I'm doing it by telling my story. I'm doing it by creating this channel, hoping to link with those who understand and who are willing to work towards this. And that's what I can do. That's my effort so far. I told you about the program. I'm giving you the details. This is a blueprint. This is a blueprint from on high. You want to solve our problems? We got to solve them ourselves. We may be able to get funding. We may be able to get support from people outside of our community, but the only ones who actually know how to fix our children from the experiences that they're having is us, because we are the ones who caused the experience. I was the pimp. My homeboy was the gangster. My other homeboy was the thug. My other homeboy was the this, the that, the this. So we the ones who made them think the way they did. Like I said, they followed us, they watched us, and that's where they got this mentality from. This is the reality, though. We was fronting. Now, I mentioned this once before. We wasn't, fake fronting. But the reality is, I wasn't taking pimping home to my mama. You wasn't taking thugging home to your mama. You wasn't no gangster at home with your mama and your sister and your kids and whatnot. You see what I'm saying? We knew the street and we knew the home. We knew that there was a difference. We knew the balance. They only seem to have watched us be in the street, and they think that's all day, every day. They don't seem to recognize the value of home and mom and the respect level and the necessity to keep them separate as much as possible. So that's our job. That's our job. And beyond that part of it is way more valuable. There is way much more value than just, oh, this is what we did, so we got to fix it. That's the simple part. That's almost nothing compared to the value of helping them find out their real purpose, right? Their natural self, their born self, that intended purpose for you being here, right? We all have one. Where you come from. If you sit and think, and you can call it meditation, you can call it prayer, you can call it ponderance, you can call it whatever you want to call it. Just think about it, and you will recognize in your spirit that you existed before you got in this body. Okay, so where did you come from? You came from somewhere. And now you are here. You are here with an intention. If you got a brother or a sister, why are they older or younger? Right? What is the relevance of your life, right? All of your experience has relevance. It is not, oh, woe is me. My life been, my life been fucked up, bro. Whatever, dog. If that's where you at, I'm sorry for you, because it's all about perspective, bro. If you look at your life, there is much lesson and education for you to share, pass forward, and help them youth to not have to walk down. Look, man, okay, I'm 46 years old. I done did everything everybody else done did. I've been in the streets. I done did it all. This is what I should tell people. I done seen it all, and I done did about half of it. By the grace of the Most High and by slight intelligence, I ain't never get caught up and go get locked up. Okay, so that's reality. But the fact of the matter is, I was just out. I was out there too. I ain't like I walked around here like an angel. I was a good guy all day. Nah. After I hurt some people and broke some hearts and saw some pain that I caused on people, I didn't like it. I didn't like hurting people. So it became more valuable for me to realize there are things outside of, this hood life, right? This hood life is a training that they put on your ass because they didn't make no room for you. This society made no room for you, right? After slavery, we didn't really want you here. They didn't want you here. So whatever you can make of it, make of it. And that's what the majority of us live in. You see a couple of them who made it, basketball player, football player, entertainers. Man, I'm a deep thinker. I wish there'd have been an environment for me to be able to nurture and mold and bring this out. But it's here now. So, I'm here now. My name is Sadiqullah. And I know I ain't alone. I know I ain't alone. I see brothers out here doing their part. I see sisters out here doing their part. And I love it and I salute you all day. So that's what this is about. I hope this moves somebody to do something more. Tell your story if nothing else, okay? Tell your story if nothing else. So that's a part of my story. I needed to get that out. I needed to vent a little bit. I needed to share that. I needed to kind of get past some of that because I have a lot of emotion connected to some of these things, and it's some value to it. But I also talked to y'all about, like I said, I knew I needed to be on this educational thing. I'm studying all these religions. This is the path I have been on, right? Then I get invited to this meeting, right, where they got all of the different, the golden rule from 5 or 6 religions, right? I see this and I'm like, this is my shit, right? I gotta go. So I'm taking people. I gotta go. So I'm gonna just show you some of the things that were shared with me from the Baha'i faith, right? Okay. So this says, veiled in my timeless being and the ancient eternity of my essence, I knew my love for you. Therefore, I created you and engraved on you my image and revealed to you my beauty. Know thyself. Now, when I saw that, I mean, I ain't gonna even front. I was almost moved to tears. I mean, I got misty about it because it's beautiful to me. Veiled in my timeless being and in the ancient eternity of my essence, I knew my love for you. Right? That's the Creator talking to you and me, right? That's how you hear. That's why you hear. There is no fluke to your life, bro. There is no fluke to your life, young lady. Okay? It is all with purpose. It is all for purpose. Okay? And like he said, therefore I created you and engraved on you my image. That is who you are. And revealed to you my beauty. Know thyself. All right? So that is from the Baha'i faith. I believe that is a quote from Baha'u'llah. And this is another one of my favorites. We are minds rich in gems of inestimable value. Okay? Right? You got that? Education can alone cause these gems to be revealed. Now, what is the education? What did I just tell you about? Okay, this is what I saw in their religion, which I already knew. I just had not This is way more eloquent, right? This is a way more eloquent way of putting exactly what I felt, knew in my spirit, in my heart, in my whole being of why I was here. There is no relevance outside of this. Your education is the most valuable thing that you have. What you know, well, you come on, man. We ain't even finna play with that. I ain't finna go on all that. Y'all know what it is. Education, okay? What is the education you should know? You should know why you're here. If I live in Indiana, I should know every plant and animal in Indiana. Everybody in the state as a youth should know, as part of their elementary education, basic, common, core public education, you should know the systems in your body. You should know the plants in your state, right? You should know knowing thyself, right? Know thyself. The basics is your humanity. What does your body do? What does your blood do? What does your brain do? What happens when you sleep? These are things that should be common knowledge to all of our youth. This should be part of our elementary education from here forward. So please tag educators, because this is next. This is necessary. And I said something the other day and I got to get it out, because I said this. I said that, the old ways was over. I mentioned that it's over, all of that. Yeah, whatever. What does that mean? What am I saying? The old ways are over. That corruption, negativity, greed, things that are of negative influence, they're in their dying stages. Okay. So you can say, the powers of this world, all of this is it's okay. Okay. Because in one sense, all of this is going away. Just imagine a 20-armed octopus going down a drain, spinning really fast, but extending them arms out as far as possible to grab and connect to as many people as possible to bring with me as I go down, because I'm going down. I know I'm going down. The going down is written. It's written in many languages and in many cultures and many histories. It's written. That is going down. What is happening is the Hydra is reaching out, grabbing everything possible on the way down with it. So, if God has sent you a teacher, be taught. Go deep. Get as much as you can, as fast as you can. I'm not no teacher no more. I don't believe that's what I'm here to do. I'm sharing with my story, okay? And I'm looking for my people, right? I'm looking for my brothers and my sisters who are willing to lay down their lives for their children, for the next generation, Not lay it down like let's go die, but lay it down because I ain't got no more energy to keep playing around in your matrix when I know what I'm supposed to be doing for my people, and I see my youth sitting here suffering, but I'm going to keep acting like, oh, it's smoothly moving. It ain't. Okay? We on the way to death. We are dying daily. You can see it. Okay, now we got the new, it's a crazy the virus situation. Y'all can worry with that if y'all want to. Man, that is a call for you. That is a wake up. Either you going to move or you going to get moved on. Okay? So wake up, grow up, man up, stand up, act in accord, You really don't have no time to waste. So that's what I'm saying. If you found a teacher, if God sent you a teacher at this time, be taught, learn it all, soak it in as deep as possible, because I don't see that there's much time for that. I would imagine that the ones who know are the ones who going to be moving on what they're supposed to be moving on. So if you know, then let's go. If you know, let's move. Please connect to me, okay? SERVANT_OF1@ymail.com, okay? In fact, let me see if I can pull that thing up here so y'all can get a better look at it. Okay, there you go. There you go. Please connect with me. Please share this with those who know. Let's go. Okay? That's it. Servant, SERVANT_OF1@ymail.com. Okay? Yes, because I am a servant of the Most High. My name is Sadiq Ullah. I am one of Allah's men. I like saying that line. I got that from Rakim, one of Allah's men. Show me love. Anyway, peace and blessings, love and light. Please connect. Let's build. This is our time. If we keep waiting, I don't know what the outcome is going to be. I'm not waiting. I'm here. I intend to see you way more frequently. So please be in contact. Let's build. One love. Bless.